Good evening and welcome to Tales of Myth and Mayhem. I am Marc, I'll be your keeper of Arcane lore for this evening. Really fucking hope you're hearing me now because I think the past 3 times you have not. So, elevator. Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. We're playing Masks of Nyarlathotep, Call of Cthulhu. We are about episode 6, I think. We unfortunately lost Alani. She's very busy and missed so much she thought it was better to bow out, but she will be running her own game soon. In her place, we have a wonderful three-eyed cat called Ian. Ian, introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing, please.
I guess I'm Three-Eyed Cat, and I am playing Augustus Fulmer, and he is a professor and a World War I vet. He basically was in university and got drafted out of the university mainly because of his language skills to go over to Europe when we entered the war and spent some time there and saw some things, and then came back to the United States and is now at a university within New York City.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if you need more.
No, not at the moment. We will get there. There'll be plenty more. Michelle, who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm playing Kathy Bacon. Don't know why I said her name like that. Yeah, she was a really prolific actor in the silent movie era until she turned like 35 and then suddenly was like, "You're too old to do anything. You're too old for everything." And so she's just been fucking around trying to start unions wherever she goes and solve mysteries, spooky mysteries.
She just needs the dog now. And Tim, what about you? Who are you? Who are you playing?
I am playing Bob. Bob is an explorer class, more or less, are built in the system, so he's good at running around in various places and shooting big guns. So, he's the muscle of the group, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I'll just move my seat. And last but certainly not least, Chris. Who are you?
Last and definitely least.
Not least.
Hi, I'm Chris. And I'm playing Lyra de Nocte, who is the heir to the St. Louis de Nocte fortune. Or better said, she is at the moment what's the name of the thing that they did with Brittany again?
Trustee? No, not trustee. I can't remember.
Conservatorship?
Yeah, she's basically the conservator of the fund until the last remaining heir to the de Nocte fortune, the 13-year-old son, is of age to access his funds.
Or let him murders them in sleep.
Till then, she's basically using them to solve mysteries and write books.
Thank you very much. Lanhi is here, by the way. Hi, Lanhi. So, kind of a recap because just about everyone was missing last time. We did a little bit of investigation. Went into Harlem, went about some speakeasies, found Michelle disappeared. Found out about some kind of shop that seemed to be a hub for don't know, some sort of weird activity. I'm just looking for Michelle, by the way. I don't know why she fell out. But yeah.
She'll be back.
I'm sure she will. Yeah, so there wasn't terribly much going on, and the reason I'm saying that is because I didn't do a recap because I don't. But we're going to start off with something slightly different. Oh, thank you very much, Ian. So you all have one. Instead of a reroll in this game, it will be plus 10%. Right. So there are 3 available at the moment. And we are waiting on the woman. Give me a second till I check, and if not, I'll just get started. I think her internet might have gone because she doesn't.
Broke actors can't afford to pay their bills, you know?
I'm sure.
I'm kidding.
No, you broke characters can't pay the bills. That's part of the problem. They shouldn't be broke. They should get more money.
That's what happens when you turn 35.
I know. So, as I said, we'll start with something a little bit different. Thank you, Tim, for subscribing, and we'll make that another 3 plus 10%. Because a sub is
Use your
bits.
Prime, people. Use your Prime.
Use your Prime.
Pay to win right now.
Exactly. So let's start. Augustus, you find yourself in somewhere that's familiar to you. You can smell cordite, you can smell blood, you can smell guts, you can smell human feces. There's noise everywhere, clouds in the sky, but the sky looks strange, kind of purple. Sorry, Michelle just wrote she never technically left. The game left her. And she's back.
What I miss?
I'm smelling poop.
Roll up your new character.
Poop. You're smelling blood. You're smelling cordite. You're smelling death. You weren't in the trenches often, but you remember this. You remember it somehow. It's so familiar. You don't see anyone alive round about you. You're stumbling. You're tired. You're sure you're wounded, but you can't feel anything. You're numb. You trip over something and you see a body on the ground. Some young man, barely more than a boy. Maybe you run a little bit, you skip, run, try to get out of the trenches somehow. And you round a corner. And you see 3 look like men in uniform. Bodies piled at their feet. And you hear a horrible chewing sound. And gasping and slurping, moans of pain. One turns to look at you, and you see worms for the eyes, and you wake up. Today is the day you go to the will reading of your friend Jackson Elias. So tell us what you look like, how you get ready.
I'm in my 30s, and I'm kind of a lean, not very strong gentleman. Seen a lot of war, and I'm fatigued and tired all the time. During World War I, I lost my column, and I lost part of my hand in the explosion. So I tend to keep it hidden, and I dress nicely because, like a professor would at the university. Jackson and I were good friends. He used to visit me from time to time at my place, and it comes as a shock that he's now dead, and I need to figure out how he died and what happened to him, because he was a good friend and used to visit me, and we would share a lot of pipe and a lot of talking about languages and going-ons in the world, and he would sometimes share some of the things that he's seen with me. And he seemed to be kind of going down a dark path, but I haven't seen him in a while. And I was outside of the city when he was killed, so I'm just returning.
After your nightmare, you get ready and you head into town. Or how long does it take you to get to the city, actually?
It'll probably take me about half an hour or an hour by car. I have my own car, so I'll probably drive in.
By the way, thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you, Loretta. Thank you, Chris. All of you. Be like, and right, okay, you've all got way too many fucking things now. A minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna drive recklessly and spend all my points to on my drive rolls. Nah, just kidding.
Wait a minute. Fucking hell. 1, 2, 3. Right, you're giving them way too many bonuses here. I'm not getting to use them. Right. So you drive in, you get to the lawyer's office, Carlton Ramsey. You go up the stairs. You're let in by a young black woman who introduces herself as, I've forgotten already because that's how I do it. What's her name? Willa Sly. She takes you into the office. You see another fairly young black man, early 30s, very well dressed, sitting at a large desk. And round about, you see these three people. Carlton stands up. Professor Fallner, please come in. We were just waiting on you. I don't know if you know each other. Maybe introduce yourselves, and I'll go and get us a drink.
Hello, I'm Augustus Fulner. I'm a friend.
Greetings.
I'm not familiar with any of you, so.
Hello, my name is Bob, and he holds out his hand to shake. I'm sure you were a friend of Jackson also.
Yeah.
How
I worked with him on many
refreshing.
jobs. Allow me to introduce you to the two ladies here. This is Miss Kathy Bacon.
How can I not
You
know?
probably recognize her.
I do recognize her.
I was about to say, it would have been so refreshing if somebody did not know who I was, but still, lovely to meet you, Professor Fulmer.
Thank you.
And this is Miss Lyra Dunacton. I think I said your last name right.
Nocte.
She's quite a well-known author
Lyra
in her own
kind
right.
of puffs and eyes Augustus up and down, a bit suspicious.
It's good that you're leery, but it's nice to meet all of you. I'm not familiar with any of you. Jackson didn't bring any of you up when we've talked in the past. So how do you know him?
I've worked on many expeditions with him, and retrieval of items for him.
Would you believe me if I said that we fought a bunch of fat vampires in South America?
Is this one of your films?
It's probably easier if I say yes to that.
I've seen a number of your films, and you swear mistaken, so I'm kind of familiar.
Oh,
After a
thank you,
moment,
darling.
Carlton returns with a bottle of bourbon, and Willa behind them with several glasses. Pours each of you a couple of fingers, and then sits back at his desk. Holds up a glass to Elias.
To Elias.
Oh, God, I'm missing. Anyway, I suppose we should get down to business. Jackson came here actually the day before he died. Well, I should have known something was wrong. He wasn't really in a fit state. I got the idea that he was scared, but he was in a rush. He made some alterations to his will, and that's why you're all invited here today. He has a note for you. I'll just read it aloud, if you don't mind. If I can fucking find it. Oh, no. Not that one. Sorry, I was looking at all my, all my props and took too many out.
You say he altered his will. Did he give any reasoning?
Get to that in a moment.
And only
This is
yesterday.
from not yesterday, day before he died. Yesterday would have been weird.
Yeah.
Zombie Jackson coming. Jackson left this letter for you all. Greetings from beyond the grave. By now I'm sure you've learned that what I've left you is a whole heap of trouble. I understand if you just want to walk away from the whole thing. Although, actually, seeing that, you should probably have heard the rest before, but fuck it. Hell, I'm dead now, and I'm still wishing I could have walked away from it. But I couldn't do that. And I don't think you're going to either. You've been there for me in the past when I needed you. It's too late to save me. I hope I can count on you one last time. I've been travelling all over the world, pulling at threads. Believe me, I'm onto something big. Carlton and Jonah can give you some of the details. They've got some of my papers and notes, but there's still so much to follow up on. So much that still needs to be done. I'm assuming I've been murdered, and I'm counting on you to bring my killers to justice. If I just get mowed down by a trolley car, well, consider me embarrassed, and you off the hook. But I suspect it'll be something else. And it's not going to be easy to follow it out to the end. You don't need to finish my book. None of you can write worth a damn. No offence, Lara. I'm sorry for all this. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Remember me, your friend, Jackson Elias. You see a tear in his eye as he folds the letter up. So, Jackson has had a tidy sum set by. He's given me full power of attorney. And I'm creating a fund that will allow you all to continue his investigation into the Carlisle expedition. This, according to him, this will not be an easy task. And obviously not a cheap one. It will probably be able to cover legal bills, medical expenses, travel. My only ask is that you keep meticulous records. I will not let his legacy be misused. Not that I'm accusing you of that. I'm just making it clear that this is important to me because it was important to him.
Darling, it's not a will reading unless you accuse someone of something. Don't be afraid.
I've read, unfortunately, far too many wills for that to be true. Oh, you! Can you mute when you do that? Yeah, disgusting.
I thought I had.
Anyway, thank you so much for the hype train. I apologise, I'm trying not to look at chat too much. I probably will too much, but I'm trying not to look at it so much. But thank you all very much. As said in his letter, both I and Jonah Kensington, I believe you met him, have some of his papers that you can look into. And hopefully start with maybe finding out who the bastards are that did this. I will act as your point of contact. I am certain that your investigation will take you overseas. I know that the last short while, Jackson was in London, he was in Egypt, he was in China. There is so much to look for. The fund amounts to $50,000, all of which will be made available to you to carry this out. Do you have any questions?
Do we have to keep the receipts?
Yes. And it's very important that you forward the receipts on to me.
I hate bookkeeping, but I understand.
For fuck's sake, Bob, a man is dead.
Yeah, I find it troubling that he.
Yes, he is dead, and we have a task to complete for
Sorry,
him.
what were you saying?
I was saying I find it troubling that he knew he would be murdered, and here we are sitting. And he even wrote a letter to himself. Was it post-mortem?
Jackson always knew what he was getting into. It was the same when we met him in Peru, wasn't it? I mean,
Pretty much.
he pretended to be someone else to get close to that guy. What was his name again?
Mendoza?
Augustus
Not-
Larkin.
Larkin, exactly.
Larkin, yeah.
Oh yeah, the
He
accidental
always knew
misfire.
there was a risk to his job. It was dangerous what he did. He was involved with dangerous people. Of course he knew he was going to die at some point.
I know, I think this is something slightly more nefarious. Jackson, in the last few months, this has been consuming him. Had you seen him when I did? Sorry, Augustus.
Oh, I keep over talking over you.
No, it's okay. That happens, mate. Don't worry.
I'd say my character would be in shock because this is all just a big revelation. I don't know anything about Peru either, so I would just. This would be probably like I would know in 24 hours that you'd passed. So I think a lot of this.
Well,
Professor Fulmer,
yeah.
I'm going to be blunt because we haven't got time for anything less. How likely are you to believe in the paranormal?
I understand where you are. I have discussed this with Jackson on a number of occasions, and to be frank, I have seen my own horrors in the world.
Good, that'll save us plenty of time. And we can assume that we have a good alliance because we all cared about Jackson.
Yes, and yesterday, and me
So
and
we
Miss
all-
Spates have some information we acquired at the funeral and after that we might wish to share with the rest of you. But let's finish listening to what the lawyer has to say. Is it that all? Was just the trust fund? Did he have anything else?
That is it for the moment. I do believe you've already collected some documents. You might wish to discuss them just now. If you want, I can leave the room, or you can head somewhere else.
It might be best for your own sake to have plausible deniability if something might happen.
I will not support anything illegal.
But that is things discussed might not be things a lawyer may wish to hear.
Unless we make you our lawyer.
Technically,
tell you
I am your lawyer now.
Well, wonderful. We can tell you anything then. And you have to keep it a secret.
Unless it's knowledge of a crime you're going to commit, sure.
What about crimes we already have?
Kathy, don't scare him.
I'm sorry, you're just too easy, darling. We will keep you in the clear, I promise.
Yes, so nothing that we're going to discuss is too illegal.
Sorry, I keep trying to make it light.
Degrees of illegality here.
I keep trying to make things light. I don't respond well to situations like this. I don't respond well to loss. And I say the inappropriate, and I apologize.
Mark, is that done? I'm looking at the handouts you have available in roll 20. Was that some of the evidence we had found previously?
Yes, sir.
Only that I'm getting PDF. Nairobi note not appearing, just FYI.
Nairobi notes, why is it not? It's appearing for me.
Okay, I get just a blank, something went wrong. Okay.
Okay, well, when I clicked on it, it works. I can also share that final note with you. And did you get the note to? Yes, you should have got the letter to Jonah as well. So me as the keeper, I would suggest you all take this time to maybe discuss, especially with Augustus, what clues you have as yet, what the plan is to carry on, and that'll give me a couple of minutes to just sit here and go, ha ha ha, I don't need to do any work. That means you're meant to talk.
You guys, do you want to go someplace to discuss this, or are we staying?
Well, let us
I would
finish
say
your
we go
drinks.
I would say we go to my favorite bar in town, but we got warned away by some corrupt police officers. So I don't know if we can go back to the Rotting Fish.
No, that wasn't at the Rotting Fish. That was somewhere in Harlem.
Yeah.
Oh, let me take you to the Rotting Fish. It's the most real bar in Brooklyn. You'll love it. But
Where are
also,
we?
make sure you don't gaze too long at any of the gentlemen at the bar. That will just be an invitation for violence.
And also, Kathy, how many times do I have to remind you that alcohol bars and booze are illegal at this time? Don't yell it to the lawyer.
The lawyer just gave you a drink of bourbon from a bottle.
I
I
know.
think that
Oh,
part's
yeah.
kind of okay.
Oh yeah. As he's pouring another drink, we just said we wouldn't talk about anything illegal as he's drinking.
I say we
It's
stay
barely
here.
illegal.
Sorry, I think I need to turn you up a little bit, Ian, because it can be difficult to hear you at times.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's the boom, boom, boom. Because it was when it was on Safari, the sound was better.
Mm-hmm.
But the things, I know I need to have my mic up at 150%. I'm going to need to put yours up, and everyone else is. Chris is down at 84%. Tim, Michelle are in the 90s, and you and I need to be louder.
Yeah, I had to turn my volume.
I can turn up my gain.
Dude. So,
I recommend that we stay here and drink off his bourbon. And I'm gonna light my pipe and sit back, and I'm gonna inquire about the clues, because it seems like I'm just in here kind of taking it all in, that there's actually something happening that I'm not aware of. But I obviously just realized that, like, maybe, I'm part of something a little bit bigger.
First thing we should discuss was Kathy and I who found the body.
Yes, I didn't get much of a good look. I was too busy running distraction downstairs for most of it. Well, but what did you find?
Well, this symbol was carved on his forehead, and he will draw it out.
Okay.
I don't have it handy.
I don't have it in, what you call it? I'll put it in the handouts just now.
Okay.
I'll be very curious about that symbol. Can I?
Yep. And he will draw it. Also, he was murdered. We attempted to chase them down, but they got away down the fire escape.
Don't forget they were organized. They had an escape
Yes.
vehicle waiting.
You made yourself louder, didn't you, you fuck?
No.
No.
Would I know
no,
the symbol at all?
You made me louder and then you accused me of something. How does that feel, huh?
I didn't make you louder, you bobig. Anyway, Augustus asked you something.
Excuse me. I missed that.
Oh, I was just saying that I've totally forgotten. I was wondering if I would have any idea what this symbol was at the moment. Just if my character would be aware.
Yes, you would. I gave you that info about the bloody tongue.
Oh.
The symbol that you see, you are aware of the fact that it's connected with that cult, but as far as you know, it's only active in Kenya. You talked about it with Jackson. Actually, was one of the last things you talked about, but you've never heard of it being in the US. I'll get you the picture in a second.
I guess
We
I would
have a hypothesis that these murders. Well, I have the hypothesis that these murders were carried out by a group called the Bloody Tongue.
This symbol is from the Bloody Tongue, so that makes sense. If I recognize it, but I've never even seen that they were working within the U.S.
So you can confirm. I haven't been able to find any way to confirm this hypothesis. So now it's become a theory.
Jackson talked to me about this cult. I'm just relaying what Marc said. But Jackson has talked to me about this cult in the past, but we've never seen anything, especially in the United States.
You said Kenya, didn't you? Why does that sound familiar? Wasn't there something with the Carlisle expedition in Kenya?
Yes, there was a connection, and though I didn't bring them with me, we do have some files and papers locked up back at the hotel safe that we might want to show and discuss.
The image is in row 20.
So after we're done with the drink, if we would like to go back there, we can grab the folders or the files. Bob wouldn't have carried it here to the to the will reading.
No, likely not. So you're all heading off to the hotel.
Lyra is still standing there taking a sip from her whiskey and thinking for a second.
I would offer everyone come back to my apartment.
But do you
Just
need to
because.
go to Bob's hotel to get the...
Oh, that's what's happening. Yeah, that makes total sense. That's exactly what we should do. Good thinking, everyone.
I would inquire about where they're staying because I'm actually a resident. I don't know if Tim's muted or not, but I would inquire of where they're staying, and I'll go back to the hotel with them. But they're a little bit of the strangers, so I would be a little leery.
I got my own place in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess Jackson would almost certainly have talked about these people before because he would have talked to you about what happened in Peru. So they wouldn't be completely, they maybe probably not talked about them all the time, but would definitely at least have once or twice talked about them, and definitely since Kathy and Bob were helping them quite often with things, their names would certainly have come up.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have said that to you before we started. But fuck it.
We can agree to meet anywhere. Bob just needs to go pick up the paperwork and so forth. So. Shall we meet back at the bar, Kathy?
I'm thinking, considering the few times we have discussed the Carlisle expedition and done things in public, we almost got collared by some thuggish cops. Maybe we should go somewhere. Either we should go somewhere safe, somewhere private.
Your place?
Could be my place. Could be Augustus' place.
My place is
wherever it's close.
I'm in Connecticut.
Then my place is much closer.
Yes, it is closer.
All right, come back to my place. Here's the address.
Woohoo!
I'll see you there.
All right. I'll drive there, unless anybody wants to come with me.
Are you taking the lift? I'm going to the hotel.
Yeah, I'm just going to go pick up the papers and meet up. Wherever that's chosen to be.
Right, so. Who's going in the car and who's going to the hotel?
We also, I mentioned as we're there was that shop in Harlem that we should visit.
But first of all, who's going to the hotel? Who's going in the car?
Hotel.
Yeah. Who's going in the car?
Hotel.
You're going with Bob to the hotel. Kathy and Augustus are going to Kathy's apartment.
Yes.
Right. So first of all, Bob and Lyra, give me spot hidden, please.
Why you do this to me?
Once we split up, spot hidden.
Well, that's a good failure. Mute that browser, please, mate, because otherwise every time it rolls, it'll be annoying.
Excuse me, what?
Mute your browser tab, please.
What were you after? Oh,
Spot hidden, please.
Spot hidden.
It's always the first rolls.
I know.
At normal?
No, want it hard, but you can, which sounds...
Doesn't matter.
Phrasing. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There you go. Okay. You both head off to the hotel. Doesn't take all that long. And then off to meet with Kathy and Augustus. Kathy and Augustus, you two are at the apartment first. Kathy shows you around, maybe makes coffee, gets your drink. Is there anything you want to discuss before the other two turn up?
So, tell me what you know about this bloody hand.
The bloody... I'm gonna have to lean into you, Mark, a little bit because I only know so much.
You know that it is a cult in Africa that worships. It's not bloody hands, bloody tongue.
Yeah.
Worships an aspect of some god. It's the bloody tongue, and it's represented by a creature in a circle with tongue coming out, wrapping round. The followers practice ritual sacrifice. It doesn't have. It seems to have died out over the years, but it still exists. The cult members tend to wear so something like a red cloth or whatever around their heads. With the higher ups actually wearing like an animal tongue or a human tongue attached to their head.
Literally, they wear a tongue on their head. I guess that's where I end it with Kathy in our conversation.
Yeah.
But no,
Well, we never get into anything ordinary, do we?
I would
there's
imagine with the tongue, they would stand out like a sore thumb in New York.
So tongue.
So we have a number of other leads. I'm fairly sure that the police are involved. There is a police officer, well, a police captain, I believe. Captain. Oh God, I always forget the names of everyone, but I know I have it all written
Captain
down.
Robson's the bad dude.
Captain Robson.
Mm-hmm. And Lieutenant
Captain-
Poole is the one that Cathy wants to shag.
So there appears to be some kind of cover-up going on amongst the police. They have sent an innocent man to death row over a series of murders that have been referred to as the Brooklyn murders.
Just as you'd probably have heard of this, so living in New York, you would have heard of these murders going over months. There hasn't been one in a while, though.
They were in the paper a couple months back. I'm actually glad that they stopped the person.
We've been in contact with a journalist and a police officer, another police officer, who suspects there's more going on, and an innocent man is taking the fall for these. But the picture that is emerging is that the bloody tongue will have been involved in these murders. So it's highly likely that they have police contacts. So they have with leaps and bounds made massive moves into New York City, at least.
I would be very shocked that they would be a large presence in New York City, just because they haven't been inside the United States, unless they've I haven't heard much of anything about that. Would I know, with my occult, anything about them, or would I have heard anything like rumors or stuff?
Well, you wouldn't really know anything more than the information that I gave you. Wait a minute, I'm just going to have a quick look at that just now in case I missed something there. Give me a wee second. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay. Da-da-dum. So, no, because that part doesn't matter.
Part of my profession is looking into these kind of things
Yeah.
as a researcher, and I didn't know if I had heard something or that would.
Give me a wee second. You know that they use a special weapon called a panga type of blade. It's an East African kind of bush knife. But the hideous headpiece, that it's the very much sacrifice based. You don't know much about the god that they worship, except that it's one that likes to bathe in blood.
Okay. I would be surprised if they were a large force here, but I guess I would. This is all coming very quick. I guess we'd have to be on our guard.
Well, it's quite possible that they've merely just paid off a few police officers. That's a possibility.
And you're intertwined with these people already, I'm assuming.
Well, up until you confirmed that that symbol was a bloody tongue symbol, this is all just vague coincidences and connections. But now we're pretty sure either someone is either the bloody tongue are involved, or somebody really wants us to believe they are.
So
What?
after a short time, because it's really not all that far away from each other, Bob, Larry, you turn up with the documents in tow.
Lyra, help yourself to a drink. You know where the bar is.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It took us forever to find these.
And Bob will look for a clean spot at the table and start spreading things out. All the documents and paperwork, other things, so everybody can have an opportunity to look through them.
So maybe pick out what thing you're going to go over. Boom.
Let's see. Too many places to look for pieces of information. Give me a second to catch up.
So you just lay them out on the table, so I can just pick one up at random and look at it.
Yeah, I'm just putting it out since we're all since we're all looking to find Jackson's killer. I think we should all be just sharing all this information.
If you look
Looks
at the
like we're gonna
handouts, you
be-
can see you can pick one from there, and we can go through from that. There are things like the what you call it, the handbill from Professor Cow's what you call it, lecture, aren't there? But that's one that you might want to bring up.
Yeah, I was trying to find all the clue. Look where we have them all hidden.
I mean, most of them there. There's some in the Discord, but they're all
Yep.
pinned.
Yep. Because we were
The
gonna.
Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and the Southwest Pacific, a 2-hour lecture with slides delivered by Professor Anthony Cowles, PhD, of the University of Sydney, Australia, and presently Loxley Fellow of Polynesian Esoterica at Miskatonic University in Arkham.
Mm.
And Augustus, this is very familiar to you when you see that handbill. You actually attended the lecture, I believe.
Yeah, I was just there actually. I go up to Arkham every so often and attend lectures there. We have like a partnership with my university, so I'm having trouble finding the lecture notes that we're talking about.
I can. They are in our chat. It's a PDF, but I can stick them in the Diggs chat. So talk about something else while I upload this.
That's good. I'll find it.
I
It
don't know
looks
where
like he
Kenya
was-
came up, but in Africa, the only names I remember coming up are Cairo and in Egypt and Nairobi.
Yes, Nairobi is the capital of Kenya.
That makes sense.
And here's the article. Murderers hanged. Five Nandi tribesmen, convicted ringleaders of the vicious Carlisle expedition massacre, were executed this morning after a short, expertly conducted trial. To the end, the tribesmen steadfastly refused to reveal why they had slaughtered Mr. Carlisle and his companions. Mr. Harvis, acting for the colony, cleverly implied throughout the trial that the massacre was racial in motivation and that the fair-skinned victims were subject to the most savage treatment, preventing all but the most preliminary identification of the remains. Miss Erica Carlisle. Oh, Kathy, do you remember Erica's parties?
I do. I remember one, especially in particular, with that I wish I didn't.
You mean the one where he was such an idiot. You mean the one with the revolver, right?
Well, no, also including that one, but no, I had a nighttime experience with Mr. Carlisle once, many years ago.
Yes, he was.
Pardon my French, but he was a fucking moron when it comes to the ways of a woman.
Not only when it comes to the ways of a woman. Remember that time he almost blew his hand off with the firework? Anyway, it
Those
says
people
here,
should not have been going on expeditions and poking around in places they had no business.
it says here poor Erica was left defeated in the efforts to rescue her brother. She left Nairobi shortly after they were hanged. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I believe that was reported as a success. She was happy with how it turned out.
but don't you find it odd that her brother was killed in Kenya and now we're dealing with a Kenyan cult? Augustus, have you ever heard of the Nandi tribe?
I don't believe so off the top of my head. So
Yeah, it's not anything that you've not done any research into that. There's no real connection with any cults that you know of.
yeah. But I would have attended this lecture at Cowes.
Yeah, so when he was at, he gave the lecture the week before Jackson died at your university. There's quite a lot of information there, but what I was thinking was because Augustus was there and he knows Cow, then you don't really need to go visit him, so we can kind of skip that bit. But I've put the notes, let's say the Augustus notes are in the around row 20. Basically, he talked about a cult, so a bat cult in Australia, in Aboriginal Australia. Doesn't seem to have much of a bearing on what's going on at the moment, though. As far as you can tell me, you might find it interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say that the Bloody Tongue cult probably doesn't have anything to do with this bat cult, that they would be two separate entities out there.
Definitely, he doesn't seem to have anything to do with Jackson's death at all.
Yeah. Would there be a reason that the Bloody Tongue cult would come to this United States? Like, would there be a reason for them to be here?
Bob will pull out an article from the notes from the Egyptian note, the Carlisle. They found something, and he slides it over. It's the notes from Cairo. They say they debunked something that they discovered, but I think that's probably the real reason. They didn't. They did discover something, and they were trying to keep it hidden.
So
And
basically, they discovered something that uprooted them, and now they're here to get it back? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm suspecting that could be one. Just looking at the notes, they're saying something was the expedition. Sir Audrey debunked rumors that the expedition had discovered clues to the legendary wealth of the lost mines of King Solomon and stuff. But it doesn't mean they didn't find something else.
Do you remember the article on Jackson's death? They mentioned this prisoner. Did any of you go to Sing Sing?
No, we have that in pardon me. We have that in motion.
Yes.
Made connections with Lieutenant Poole, who was mentioned in that article. Hopefully he's going to sort us out with an appointment to speak to Mr. Hilton Adams ourselves. So that should be something we could maybe call him and see how far he's got with that.
Oh,
He did say to you it would be a couple of days.
why do we need the lieutenant's permission? Why not just walk up to Sing Sing?
Because that's not how prisons work then, mate.
They don't work that way anywhere, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I did suggest using my celebrity to try and get past, but apparently that was a no-go.
Well, it would get us in, but how would we get to speak to a specific prisoner?
Well, flutter of an
Unless
eye.
you were-
flutter
You
of an
forget
eyelash,
we have
get
a
all sorts.
lawyer on our team.
That is
I'm
true.
sure he could
Be
have
careful
arranged.
what you're concentrating on. Don't do things that are going to take you way off course, people. Right? Think about the clues that you have first.
Yep, that's why I'm thinking we might take a trip to Egypt. are various other ones. We have to figure out what he found. Right now,
I'm looking
all
through
we
his
have are
notes.
these
Well, we-
places he visited.
The
I
matchbox.
mean, that's Singapore,
That's
isn't it?
Shanghai. Are we going to Shanghai?
Maybe concentrate on the clues that are closer to home at the moment.
Yes.
Instead of going off to find where you're going, you still don't know actually who killed Jackson.
What about
You-
London?
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, man.
I can't read because it's not expanding. I can't read
Which
the
one?
the Cowl's lecture notes.
Don't worry
They
about
are
that. That's not
tiny.
important for the moment.
Oh, there
Right.
we go.
You
Now
just
I
have
load
that for
up.
later.
Okay.
A lot of info on a bat cult.
Yeah, we got a lot of info here we're trying to process through. The closest thing I suggest while we're in town is maybe we look at this place in Harlem and our stuff here. I mean, if we go too far, we still have a couple days before we can meet the people at the prison.
Well, let me call the lieutenant and see if there's been any progress there. So I go over to my phone and I'd like to call the number that he gave me.
Yep. You come into the switchboard and you get put through quite quickly. So it's not too late in the day. Miss Bacon, I was just thinking about calling you actually. Bad news on the prison front. The Hilton Adams does not want any visitors at all.
Really?
He is refusing to speak to anyone. I am sorry.
Did you tell him that I wanted to speak to him?
Yes, he did not know of you.
The one time I actually it would really work out in my favor for someone to have heard my name. The one and only time, and it didn't work. Okay, what if we were to show up at the prison with a lawyer in tow and demand to see him?
You cannot demand to see someone who does not wish to be seen.
In that case, do you have a telephone number for the prison?
I'm sorry, Miss Bacon. This is going a little bit beyond what you should be doing. Please leave the poor man in peace.
If you want us to find out about all of the horrible things that are going on, we're
Miss
going to need to
Bacon,
talk to this man.
Miss Bacon, you will not go to that prison. If you do go to the prison, I will see that someone arrests you. Okay? I have other things to look at the moment. I'm still trying to solve the murder of your friend. Goodbye. He hangs up.
What a rude man. He asked us to go and investigate all of this stuff,
He
and then
didn't
he
ask you to go
stonewalled us.
investigate. You said you were going to investigate, and he said he'd appreciate any information.
Well, same thing. I relay what just happened to everyone.
Fuck him. Okay.
So I'm to understand that you all, the three of you, found his body, and you found him in a state disemboweled, if I remember right, or his throat was slit, and
I
you
think it was
found this
both.
marking on his head. Was there any follow up to that from the police? Was there? I know that's who you're calling right now, but did they have anything that they said that led, like, did they have any leads?
Not exactly.
The thing was that it resembled the murders that had happened before these Harlem, whatever they called them. It was done in the same style, and since Hilton Adams was arrested for it and put in prison, is on death row, and there were no murders after that. They thought they had their man. Now that Jackson has also been killed, Lieutenant Poole at least is saying there may be something going on there, as did the reporter Rebecca Schosenberg, who spoke to you a couple of times.
There is one lead we could chase up, and we could probably do that today. The Juju House, run by a man named Silas Unkwane.
A juju house. What exactly is that?
Apparently, I refer to the letter from so many notes.
I didn't even give you all of them, by the way.
You're not helping.
My character's a professor, but I don't know if I can digest all of this stuff as fast.
Sorry, you don't
So
need to
many.
digest all of it, right? Okay, do you want me to give you a hand here, people?
No, I don't.
No, not just you, everyone. Because I think otherwise we're going to end up going in circles.
My
Well,
character is curious about the missing book inquiry that he had. He would look at that, and
yes.
that would be right up his alley. And
Yes.
he at the publisher and the denial of it, and I would think about maybe following up on that clue, because I actually can easily get into the libraries and see if I can find a copy of what he's looking for.
You would know that Africa's Dark Sects, there are not many copies available.
Right? That's
Yeah.
Jackson.
It's not from Jackson. Didn't write that. That is a book that Jackson was looking for. He had the letter from Miriam Atwright at Harvard, saying that she was unable to find the book, although they should have had a copy of it.
I would find that really interesting, and maybe while they go talk to the prisoner, I don't know, we're going to split the party, but maybe I should
They're
go.
not going to talk to the prisoner, at least not yet. There's other things they need to do in order to be able to do that,
Okay.
which they have not yet done.
Maybe we should go question some other people who knew this gentleman in Harlem.
And you said you went to a bar in Harlem?
Well, we started asking some general questions to find somebody. And that was when we found out about the Juju house.
And what led you to the Juju house? Do you remember? Or
We never made it to the Juju house. We were interrupted by the police stating that we had no place in Harlem.
that is a rough area.
And that we should leave. Well,
it's also January, so it's really cold. So maybe we could just directly go there by car and stop in, like, so we can avoid any police contact.
The Juju house.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was told by a particularly unpleasant man at the bar that the Juju house was a location where, and this is where my memory and my notes failed me, because I didn't write this down because everything moved so quickly after that. I didn't write down what happened next. Mark, can you help me out?
He was saying that there's some. They've noticed some strange people going in there sometimes. That a lot of people round about find it kind of weird. And it was something that Howard Adams himself had looked into.
Yes, so we would be following Hilton Adams' footsteps by going to the Juju shop.
Juju house.
Juju house.
The house. I always feel weird saying that. So
we have a couple of options. We have chasing up the book that Jackson was requesting, or checking out where this Hilton chap was checking out the Juju house. Where do we want to go?
I figure we should try down at the Juju house during the day. That way the police will hopefully leave us alone.
What is this Juju house? Do you guys know?
You were told it is a kind of trinket shop. Yeah, kind of the deals with occult stuff out. Yes, so an esoteric shop dealing mostly African people of African descent, African immigrants tend to go in there.
I would be intrigued.
You've never seen a Juju shop? I remember these from New Orleans.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you
it
don't.
Is very integral to the culture of New Orleans.
This is the Juju house. There aren't Juju houses.
Mark won't let me know about the Juju house either, even though I live here and have a clue.
I know of the concept.
Are they a chain or are they a franchise like
exactly,
McDonald's?
They're not anything like that. It is a single shop. There's not a concept there. It's not, it is a Juju house. It is the Juju house. It is a shop on its own.
Concept.
Wished.
my character would. I'm just gonna say that I would look for information on the Juju house, possibly like just try to retrieve some information on it.
Where would you look?
Internet doesn't exist. No.
City of Commerce, like
Sorry?
go to one of the commerce buildings and ask like for information on the business of the Juju shop, the Juju house.
Yeah, if you want to do that, it is not yet. You would still be open.
We could
So-
just get in my car and drive to it if we knew where the location of it was.
You know, they know where it is. If you want to check up on it, what I mean is there is still time to head to a records office.
I mean, I would probably go to a records office to try to find out information on this business if they're looking for it, and they were also stopped.
Should we go there and do that first, or should we split up and one group go to the house and one group look up the information? What would be most prudent?
How about we just go and see what they have, and we can go from there.
Yes, if anybody asks, we can say that I'm researching a new film.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a great idea.
All right. If anybody really starts to interrogate us, Bob, you will be my director. Lyra, you will be the screenwriter. And Augustus, you will be our researcher. Make sure for accuracy's sake that everything is sensitively handled.
Authenticity.
What's the plan here?
Take a taxi/car to go see the Juju house.
Augustus has a car.
There we go.
Yep. Everybody
We
can
have
pile.
we have a chauffeur now.
You can drive.
Chris, do me a favour, mate, and mute when you're eating.
I'm muted.
No, Chris is eating and not muting himself.
You want to drive, Bob?
Sure. I'm not familiar with New York, but
I can
could
drive.
be
I'd
interesting.
like to, but I'll drive it there. Just for speed.
And he will then take shotgun. And
Okay.
let the lady sitting back.
It's a short drive to Harlem. You reach you need to park the car outside of the alleyway. Boom, boom, off West 137th Street, east of Lenox Avenue. It's a short alley. It opens up about a 6 square meter court. You see, there's not like littered with dirt or anything. The weeds are growing there. It looks slightly unkempt. There's only one set of doors when you enter this little court. This court. You can see the Juju house. See the sign above, just written in English. Juju house, African Art Emporium. Is what it says.
Fantastic. Now listen, everyone. Let me, if anything, if there is somebody in there who appears to be who appears to have information or otherwise gets in our way, let me charm the pants off him or her or them, whilst you lot go through all the shelves and find all the good stuff. Agreed?
Can I ask?
Bob says, yeah, as he's he pulls out his pistol and makes sure it's loaded properly.
Bob,
Flips
are you
it
fucking
back.
serious? Put that thing away right now.
I see Bob pull his weapon, and I'm gonna be very nervous. But would I don't think my character would have their weapon on them.
No. Bob, give me a luck roll, please, since you just brought out your weapon.
Well, I'm sitting
Jesus.
in the car doing this. I didn't figure we were like in a
Well,
public
I'd already
street.
described what happened when you got out of the car and you were like going down the alleyway.
Oh, you described it.
Bob just takes out his gun and starts waving it about Harlem. It's
No, you don't go, ah! No, just check it, make sure it's loaded right, put it back. But yeah, luck skill, where is it? Where's my player? Get to the right scene.
would think my character wouldn't realize the severity of like the violence yet.
Yeah, you didn't see the body, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
There's so let's see. There we go. Yeah.
13 over 49, hard success.
Yeah.
Nobody saw me.
Nobody saw anything. You're not only that, your gun is perfect condition. You're able to put it back. No one can even see a bump where you've got the holster. So the outside of the shop, it's two large windows with double doors. In the at the front, you can see mostly canvas paintings, along with some knickknacks, so carved things, stone things. None of which really, catch it. There's nothing that looks in any way malicious there.
Is there any sign of bloody tongue iconography?
No.
Yeah, I would be looking for something like that around. I think my character would be tense to, after seeing the clues that they handed to me and drew the icon, I would be nervous about that. And so I would be on the lookout for anything that kind of leads back to the bloody tongue cult.
You don't see anything there at all. Not in the window, at least. You need to go in.
Okay. I whispered to Kathy, I'm like, what brought you here again? What?
Meeting a terrible, terrible man in a bar.
Wasn't that terrible, man?
Wasn't he a racist guy? Wasn't he going on about like, oh, they should all go back and all that shit?
Yeah, but no. I was not talking about. It was it was an African American man, who was complaining about the African immigrants.
That still sounds like a pretty shitty guy.
Oh, yeah, I know, but he was not a terrible, terrible guy. You've met worse in this game already.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, he was a slightly unpleasant man who was talking about how African immigrants should go back to where they came from, and talking about how this Hilton chap may have was going around, and this is one of the places that he went to. So it's a thin lead, I'll be the first to admit, but it's also, if Hilton believed that there was a connection here, it may turn out to be significant.
Mm-hmm.
Lyra looks around for anyone who's working here.
Yeah, have we gone in yet?
No, you've not got in yet. You didn't tell me you were gonna.
All right, I go in.
Lyra goes in as well.
And Bob follows. And he opens the door for him and waits for the professor to decide.
I'll come in. I'll take my scarf off and my hat as I enter.
So, Miss Bacon, please tell me what exactly were you imagining when you saw yourself in this role?
Well, I was thinking that I would take a lesser role, as I'm hoping to help assist with the writing. I'm hoping to bring the Carlisle expedition to life.
Of course. Okay, I fully understand.
Like obviously,
Lyra
Mr. Carlisle will
around
be,
a bit.
anything that could be related to the killers.
So according to my notes, they were in Kenya, was it right?
I'm just scrolling through all of the notes I have. I have 23 pages of notes from this campaign already.
So, since you entered the shop, maybe I can tell you what it looks like.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of. That's why I'm sitting here.
Details.
You enter the shop. Well, it's very different from the cold outside. It is warm. There's some. It's not incense, but you can smell various attractive scents. You can see smoke rising from certain places. Not smoke, but the little wafts of smoke. Giving it a very What would you? I'm trying to think of a way to call it. So tangy, something like that. The scent to it. The walls are covered in like curios, different so like African instruments, a couple of books on African history. There's a couple of so stylized kind of weapons hung up, like when you go to the certain places. So certain shops, if it's a cultural shop, you might see cultural weapons hung up. There are parts set aside, so saying it's for Kenya, parts set aside saying it's for other places. Boom. There's a red curtain behind the counter that, after you've finished having your little talk, an elderly black man comes out. You see white hair starting to thin. Ah, welcome. We're just about to close up. Can I help you?
Hi, we're researching for a film that we're making, and we're just
Hi,
looking-
Kathy Bacon. Pleasure to meet you.
It takes that charmed. Looks at you, Augustus. A film. That's very interesting. Well, what brings you to my little store?
Well, I was asking around in Harlem to see if we could find anywhere that would maybe inspire the production design, as it were. We hope to bring to life the Carlisle expedition. You see, we hope to fictionalize it.
Give me a psychology roll, please.
Oh, I'm good at that. Hard success.
As you see, Carlisle expedition, just for a second, you see the smile drop from his face and then come back again right away. Very interesting. What exactly would I be able to help you with? We have several things here you could use as props, perhaps, or
Well, it's more about initial. Obviously, at some point, we are going to be going to Cairo and traveling around Africa. But we really want to try and get a head start on being accurate. We want to portray the African continent as accurately as possible. It's just so common in Hollywood, you see, to just take these flashy but incorrect elements of a location and cheapen it so. And we do not want to do that. We want to show utter respect to the people of Egypt and to the people of Kenya and everywhere else. So
very
I was
noble.
You see, just so you understand, our movie. Excuse me if I budge in, Miss Bacon. I'm one of the writers on this movie. Of course, we want to elaborate on the adventures that you have during an expedition, but of course, we also want to portray a heroic light on those involved, and how they gave back, of course, to the people of these cultures. Instead of using those silly tropes of plundering the treasures for our own wealth, we want to show Robert Carlyle from a more humane side, if you understand what I mean.
I'm not sure I know anything of this Robert Carlyle. However, people who go to different places and try to take their culture away tends not to be very. Yes. Anyway, what exactly can I do for you? Augustus, you can give me an occult roll, please, as they're talking.
I was going to say I would probably, after being interrupted, like walk around the shop and take a look at different things while eavesdropping on the conversation.
That's what I was thinking.
And Bob's kind of standing behind the ladies, but overwatching all of them, just in case something happens.
In which case, Bob, you can give me a spot hidden, please. You can spend 11 luck if you wish, Augustus, to make that pass, 61 over 50.
You're after my luck, I can already tell.
Me?
Mm. Yes.
Bob, yeah? You
I
gonna
will.
spend it?
Yep.
Right. Bob first. Bob, you notice behind the man's so not behind, hanging from the man's neck, kind of hidden by the blanket he's got covering him, there is a key. It looks fairly heavy, and a leather thong swinging back and forth as he talks to Kathy and Lara. Augustus, as you look about, you see several fetishes and traditional components of ritual magic. Now, nothing that leads you to a specific cult or anything. Nothing that you would think has any. Not that you would believe in actual magic, but you don't believe there's anything, purple about it. But it's a lot of a disproportionate amount of things that would connect to the occult there.
And I would recognize them as authentic, like
Yes,
spiritual things.
definitely yes.
Maybe I would point out to the gentleman, I'm like, oh, what about these here? Are these for sale?
Certainly yes. These
Are-
we just got a shipment in recently with some wonderful artifacts which were used in some rituals from my homeland.
Oh, can you tell us more about this? I'd be curious.
As I said, we're about to close up. If you would like to come back tomorrow morning, perhaps, I could make us a nice cup of tea and we could have a little discussion.
You were saying
That'd be wonderful, darling.
from your homeland.
Yes.
Where exactly is that, if I might ask?
I'm not sure if it was called this at the time, but Nigeria.
Ah,
Do you think these would fit into our film or our research for your film, Miss Bacon?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I was asking if you would. Have you any interest in these things, Miss Bacon?
Quite possibly, quite possibly. I think we would need more time. And I think tonight, team, we should go back to the hotel we're all staying in and really try to work out the exact movements of the Carlisle expedition. Then we could truly work out what specific items from here may be the most appropriate for portraying their locations, if you see what I mean. See, film is a visual medium. We have to get the visuals right, and it's also about respect.
So, are you with my role? I'm trying to figure out what that role would mean to my character. To August. Oops, Kathy's gone. Is it would it be something like it just piques my interest, or is it that I really recognize it, or would it be like something that
something that piques your interest, something that is very uncommon on US soil, unless it's by people that have fought in Africa or whatever and have taken these things back with them. It's not something you're used to seeing in a shop like this.
What exactly is it? Is it a book? Is it
No,
like
this is like various species, maybe a type of brush, a type of knife or chisel, things that would be used in occult rituals. Things that you've likely studied before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to be looking around. Oh, sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
go.
Bob's just going to be visually looking around to see if there's something that key might fit. He's also looking for a panga, I think is how they pronounce it, to see if they have any of the machetes.
Give me
Knives.
a luck roll, please.
Man, you're going to push my luck, aren't you?
You don't see any blade like that at all. You do see blades, but no pangas.
Okay. But does he notice anything that might have the key that would fit? Not up front, yeah.
Nothing up front. The shop is very small. It's got quite a few sets of shelves and things. But you can chat, but you can't play, Michelle. That does not seem fair. Yeah.
I was gonna say Miss Bacon faints momentarily.
Miss Bean just disappears. The Augustus touches one of the occult things and just.
It's too much.
That's
It's
it.
too much.
Now,
Yeah,
if
she's
you
still in
don't
chat
mind,
complaining.
no. If you don't mind, I'm going to have to close up now. But yes, if you'd like to come back and discuss things for your film, I'm sure we can arrange something.
Hello.
Welcome back.
I could do all sorts of things. I could chat on Discord, I could chat on the Twitch chat, but I couldn't be here. That's weird to me.
It doesn't like you. Don't know why.
That's probably it.
It's
But
because
yeah,
no, it's because you were late. That's it.
there it is. But as
Yeah.
I was saying,
As you were saying.
yeah, I can't remember what I was saying.
But yeah, Bob, well, we should probably head out since they're closing. We still have to discuss things. I mean, I still think that what they reported in the newspapers are highly suspect.
How we left.
Well, this is as we're leaving, Bob mentions this. In particular.
Okay.
Unless
we
you got
get-
something else to add, because you disappeared.
When
Went to the
we get
bathroom.
further away, I say that chap knows more about the Carlisle expedition than he's letting on.
He's also wearing a large key around him that must be for something too.
I'm going to propose something bold. I say we break in tonight and search the back office. Must be some kind of back office. There's something more going on here, I know for sure.
How do you suggest we break in?
I don't know. This is more your area, Lyra.
Really?
Who are you
eyebrow.
people?
Listen here, kid.
Well, we're trying to solve who killed Jackson. This is a lead. They have similar MO. This cult. I know the guy in prison is probably innocent, but they got something keeping him scared and in there.
Are we still in the shop, or are we outside just
Outside.
talking?
We're outside.
Heading back to the car.
Maybe we should.
Walking through the snow.
Maybe we should find out of the Mr. What's his name in jail. As family, we could talk to. Maybe they'll know something.
There was artifacts in there used for sacrifice, right?
No, not necessarily sacrifice, but used for rituals.
Rituals. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And for rituals and for the occult and for a god. So they obviously have. This shop obviously has a connection to somewhere to get these things. They obviously are getting authentic materials from some source with the cult in mind. I can't talk today for some reason.
It's okay. Neither can I.
Yeah.
That's why I'm letting you all talk more.
Well, I think we got a few things to discuss coming back here earlier in the day. So we can look at some more stuff. And I do like the idea of making this for a film. It would at least cover up our investigation somewhat.
Yes, but when I talked to him, he was all smiles until I mentioned the Carlisle expedition. Then it dropped for just a second, and then he maintained it again. He knows something. One of you chaps may have to get rough with him.
I look at Bob.
I look at Lyra.
Lyra looks back at Bob.
Do you think
In my face.
the cult knows who you are? You bring up a point. Do you think because you discovered the body, do you think they might know who we are?
Always a possibility. And I don't mind setting it up so they come looking for us. It saves the trouble of hunting. Set the bait and just let them come to you.
I think the term is shake the tree, see what falls.
Can I stay at the hotel? Because I would
I'm
not
sure
want to
there's-
bring them back to my home.
Yeah, you might want to, as the day's going on and the snow's getting, starting to pile up, you might not want to drive home tonight anyway.
No, it's probably getting horrible. I don't know what kind of weather's out, but
It's been fairly bad in the moment. So during the day it wasn't so bad. It was extremely cold, but not so much snow. But now it's starting to pile up. You're driving more slowly when you drive, being more careful. As you're driving and you're concentrating on that, Bob, give me a spot hidden, please. Now, would you like to spend? How much luck would you need?
You tell me what I need to
success.
get to hard.
That's
Hard
the thing to get the
success?
hard, yeah. So that would be what 16. So you'd need to spend.
Well, I'll just let's start with I'll take 10 from my acquired pool from my or our.
No, you need to do that before you roll, sir.
Oh, I have to claim I'm using that before I
Yes.
roll. Oh, you.
I would have used it up. I forgot all about those rolls.
I did too, so that's.
So
I
you
will
can-
use the 16. I will use the 16.
No,
Let's
you
see.
need to get down to 16. Wait a minute, no, do you? No, to 19 you would need to get down to. So that is 17 you would need to spend.
Yeah, which is fine.
Thing. You're not driving terribly fast. You, Bob, being the one that I would assume would be most on the lookout for things like this. You're being tailed.
I will inform the rest of the group. We're being followed, I think. I'm pretty sure, but he looks back a little bit. Is it a police car by chance?
It is not, no.
At least it ain't the police, so.
I'm not sure what would be worse, Captain Robson's goons or some other goons. But whatever the case, we're being chased by goons.
Not very fast in this snowstorm.
Hmm.
Pick the corner right here, Professor. And stop the car real quick. And go around the block. And when you stop, Bob gets out. And then he's going to kind of duck into an alleyway right there and tell you to keep driving off.
You want me to go around in a circle? Like, while
Yeah,
we're...
just go around the block and let's see if I want to see who they are.
I'll do what Bob asked.
Bob, you get out. You get out. Augustus, you drive on. Do you hide, Bob, or?
Yeah, he's going to attempt.
Then give
He
me
fails.
a hide roll, yeah.
He did. He
failed.
failed.
Could be
Would,
really
would
I
you
don't
like to
have
spend
enough.
20 luck?
I don't have that much to spare right now. Unless I forgot to use the 10% again.
Yep, you should have called it.
And I didn't. So, nope. Bob doesn't hide, but he's going to let him go by.
As you try to hide, but you maybe knock into a garbage can in the snow. It's kind of difficult. You know, the snow is quite heavy. You're trying to get behind something.
I'm also figuring it's white, and he's probably wearing a darker clothes, so
Yeah,
kind of stands
exactly.
out too.
And they rolled a 9 on their spot hidden enemy because they were making it
Yep, he wasn't.
contested.
But he watches them watching him. Then
Exactly, and you see it's two black men, maybe African American, maybe African, and the one that's driving, his head doesn't budge, is looking ahead. The other one's head follows you for a moment, and then he taps the driver on the shoulder, and they speed up.
Would we see this?
No, you're there. The whole point was you were meant to drive on. Bob's out in the cold. Where are you all driving to?
We're doing a loop around to come back around to him.
Okay. drive around, make the loop. You get Bob.
Bob steps back in the car. It is what we suspected. There was 2 black men following us, likely from the store.
Should we face them? Or are they trying to intimidate?
I don't know if they're following us anymore. I believe they saw me. And I look
Well, if-
behind.
You don't see the car again.
Well, that suggests they were looking for information more than looking to intimidate. That's something.
Well, at least now we know we found something that's causing people to show interest in us. Maybe they were just fans for you, Kathy, looking for an autograph.
They
could
rarely
use-
chase. They rarely follow in a car and then the second unnoticed disappear. They tend to be quite forward with their requests.
I was attempting humor there with you, Kathy.
I'm sorry, I must have missed that because it sounded like a reasonable question.
Oh. I wasn't suspecting them of coming for your autograph.
So I'm assuming
But-
they're going to drive back to the hotel.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. This is all quite a lot for you. I mean, you knew that Jackson sometimes got into some dangerous work there. You know, he did bring you as well a lot of good information on various cults. You knew he was for the most part a skeptic. But the last time you talked to him, when he did mention the bloody tongue, he was a little bit more animated, a little bit more intense about it. But these people seem to be ready for just about anything. But Jackson did ask for y'all to solve his murder and to have a look into the Carlisle expedition.
That is what we're doing.
Not well, but that's what you're doing.
We're not professionals.
Well, sorry, but Laird and Octate says private investigator.
Okay, some of us are.
So you reach the hotel. Cars parked on the street. Snow is starting to pile up. The doesn't take too long for the tires to get covered. Augustus, you're able to get a room, no problem, unless you're wanting to bunk in with Bob.
No, I'll bunk on my own.
You get a room just across the hallway from him.
I do recommend that we try to all. Well, everybody make sure your windows are locked, at least. That's how they got into Jackson.
Mhm.
From the
And-
fire escape.
The weather might deter them right now, but I would double check everything. So what do we know?
Well, we know we've made somebody angry, or at least curious. Both the police and people in Harlem seem to be interested in us when we're in Harlem.
We might stand out. Bunch of well-to-dos.
Well, it's also one of some of the best speakeasies are in that area too. So
That's
Yeah,
true. But
and
obviously, like Jackson, they killed Jackson for a reason.
because he
had
found
that-
something.
but where is that something? Is what I'm wondering. Or what is that something?
Nairobi. There is a whole list. There's a whole bunch of documents here that explain all the various activities he got up to when he was in Africa. I'm guessing he found something
Not
there.
just Africa. There's most of it is about London. Just so you don't miss things. So the
I
most
still
recent
think-
notes are from London. That's where they was last. Before that, he was, I think, in Nairobi. Before that, either China or Cairo, Shanghai or Cairo.
And remind me again, Mark, he was clutching the matchbox.
No,
when
it
he
was
found murdered?
just lying there.
It was just lying there. Okay.
Yeah, it was. You'd looked about for various things, and the matchbox was just one of them.
Nope, no problem. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
something that I.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't something he was clutching as if it's a vital clue. That's not what it was.
No. I was thinking maybe he ripped it off somebody or something. Okay. Um. I still think we should maybe question the prisoner here in Sing Sing, but I don't think we're going to get. They're obviously keeping him silent somehow. I think
Now,
we
I have a
should
feeling
check on
that
his family.
I have a feeling that if Lieutenant Poole, I don't think Lieutenant Poole would stonewall us like that. I think he'd want us to see him, maybe.
Yeah, but the prisoner has a right to refuse, and that's what he's saying the prisoner is doing. So, why is the prisoner refusing?
Well, because who the hell are we?
He's refusing, according to when he was sent to you, he's refusing all visits.
Now, is that after our reporter friend attempted?
The reporter friend didn't attempt.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure.
Or she never said that she did anyway.
Yeah. I think we found something here, and it's local. I don't think we need to travel too far. I think we need to dig a little deeper. The idea of going back and visiting the store after hours was not a bad idea. Tonight, as he looks out at the snowstorm coming down, maybe not the best idea.
Well, the only time I've ever broken into anywhere was, well, Charlie's house, and he actually told us to do that. Like Charlie Chaplin, right? Wild man. He just told us one night, right? We've had a few drinks. Here's a game. Break into my home, and we succeeded just by smashing open a window, which he was not expecting. But yes, that is the extent of my experience of clandestine activities. So this will probably be something that I think Lyra or maybe even Bob would have to take the lead on, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing there.
The biggest hassle we'll have is the police in town. Did we get a search warrant from your police friend? We'd have to have probable cause, I'm sure.
It's not his precinct.
I know
that was part of the problem. It's Lieutenant Poole is
that's right.
a different one from Robson. He seems to think he'd mentioned to Kathy that he thinks Robson might be on the take, because Kathy was so charming. She managed to get quite a bit of info out of him.
He's not the most
He doesn't have the pull, from what I understand, in that
and also
area.
he's most interested in he's not the most interested in helping us. I think he's wanting to use us, but he may not be necessarily that into
helping.
Yes.
Unless we have something specific for him to dig for us, I agree. Were there any other witnesses or anything in the case that led to the arrest of this person that we can recall from the notes he gave you? Somebody else to talk to?
Now you mention it, there was something. When I spoke to Rebecca Schosenberg, she offered to put me in touch with Hilton's wife.
I think that's where we maybe start with our local information.
I'll give her a call right now. She's a journalist. She'll be working late. I go to a payphone, I guess, or a phone at the bar or whatever.
You'd be able to get a phone at the hotel. They would give you access to a phone.
Okay.
Put through to the New York Times, and you ask for Rebecca Schosenberg. After a moment, Schosenberg, how can I help you?
Hi, Rebecca. It's Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm speaking. Wonderful to hear from you. Have you given any more thought to maybe speaking with Millie Adams?
Yes, I think we'd like to do that as soon as humanly possible. When do you think we'd be able to meet her?
I think, well, given the weather, I would say not tonight, but perhaps tomorrow night.
All right, book it. Tell us where to go.
Wait a minute till I find the address. Let me give it to you. Do you know the Lafayette Theatre, 7th Avenue, 132nd Street?
I know it very well.
Excellent. We'll meet you there. About 6 p.m. I'll make sure Millie comes. I think you'll be very interested in what she has to say. And if I'm right, maybe you can help prove her husband's innocence.
Well, that poor man has been through hell. That is an absolute goal of ours. Let's make it happen.
Wonderful. I will get in touch with her as soon as I can. Do you mind if I'm there while you talk to her? I think it might put her a little bit at ease.
Sure thing. We may be able to afterwards, after we're finished, do a little bit more information exchanging.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. That poor woman has been through so much, and as horrible it is, the death of your friend might actually save her husband.
Just remember to keep my name out of this, and we'll get along famously.
Of course, Miss Bacon, that would not. This isn't page 6. It's Thank you very much. And she hangs up.
I tell everyone, 6 p.m. tomorrow night, Lafayette Theatre. We're going to meet Millie Adams, Hilton's wife. Maybe, at the very least, she'd be able to grease the wheels and let us speak to Hilton directly. Otherwise, it sounds like she has some information treasure.
Oh, anything would be helpful. We have so much right now. Trying to put the pieces together has got me very confused.
Well, there's so much of it.
I just don't see the connection. I mean, obviously he's going here, here, and here, as he's pointing to the documents. But what was he looking for? I mean, I know Carlisle expedition, but person.
You remember that he had said
specific?
that the Carlisle expedition, he doesn't think they actually died.
Oh yeah,
That was the main thing there. There's something more going on.
yeah. I didn't think they die. If they died, they didn't die the way they reported it. That's obvious.
Professor, did you know anyone who went on the Carlisle expedition?
No, I did not. I was actually really envious that I didn't get to go. I've heard about it when I was in school. I was very envious of it.
It sounds like you're very lucky to avoid that fate.
Yeah,
Whether they are still alive or not.
Well, I ended up going to the Great War.
No,
you
this
poor
was the expedition was after the war.
Was it? I thought it was
yeah.
I thought it was the same
war
year.
ended
Oh
in
yeah, the expedition was like 1922 or something.
1919, I think.
Not 2019. I'm sorry. 1919.
The war ended 1918. 1919
so
was the.
Maybe you were
expedition.
too tired and fucked up from the war to even be thinking about going
Probably.
anywhere.
That's a good excuse.
They wouldn't have been invited. There's a very
Yeah.
small things that so they weren't didn't put a thing getting various people in. It was Roger Carlyle, Hypatia Masters, Aubrey Penhew, Dr. Huston, and Jack Brady, who was Roger's bodyguard.
I just remember seeing it on the films in the news. I have a question. Like, my character's intrigued by. I guess Augustus is intrigued by the artifacts I saw. Can I research those artifacts? I mean, I can't do it in the hotel, but the next day, could I go and possibly try to figure out what those artifacts, where they came from?
Yeah, you certainly can. Yeah. He did invite you all back the next day in the morning to talk more about it if you wanted.
This is the Juju house
Yep, the Silas and Quani.
in Kwane.
But would it be possible before, if I like, I'm not sure of the time scale here, but would I be able to maybe go to the research library or something and
No,
take a look?
it's nighttime now. They wouldn't be open. I mean, maybe since you're a professor at the university, if you got there, you might be able to.
I just mean the next day. I don't mean at night.
The next day, yes, you definitely could. Yeah.
I think we're stuck, right? We're stuck in the hotel for tonight. So I'm just
I would
thinking,
say so.
yeah, we don't have laptops to look up stuff. So I would have to wait till the following morning to possibly research it because
Mhm.
I feel like they're significant in some way. If I,
Professor, would you join me for a drink at the bar?
sure, I would gladly.
Wonderful. Which bottle would you like?
He doesn't have a speakeasy in the hotel. You need to. They will bring things to your room, but you won't. There's no actual bar in the hotel.
That makes total sense, seeing as his prohibition. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. If you're pouring, I'm drinking.
All right, I ring down to the desk.
Miss Bacon. After you said hello.
A bottle of Black Label.
Of course, Miss Bacon. Right away. How many glasses?
How many glasses?
I'll have some, but I'm not going to attempt to keep up with you tonight, Kathy.
It's been quite the eventful day for me. I think I need to retreat and have a bit of sleep.
Oh, Lyra. You weren't always like this. You weren't always so sensible. We'll have 3 glasses.
So, Larry, are you heading off?
Lyra is going to grab a bit of sleep and process the funeral and the day in general.
Where are you going? Are you in the same hotel? I can't remember.
Yes. No, Lyra has an apartment in New York. Sorry.
Okay, so you would call a cab or whatever.
Yeah.
Give me a spot hidden, please. So you would need to make it hard to this would be way too much luck, I think. You would need to get down to 24, so that would be 50 luck you'd need to spend. 49.
Yeah. I'm not going to spend 50 luck.
No. You notice nothing. The cab brings you home. The doorman is nodding off as you enter. You get to your front door. You put your key in. And you find a hand over your mouth, arms around you. You kick out. Something hits you in the head. Next thing you know, you can hear a hammer pounding, something pounding into nails, and you can smell the wood of a crate. And you're in darkness with small dots of light coming through. Feel the crate being lifted up.
Well, since it's a bit too late, I won't let them out in real life, but I start letting out a couple of blood-curdling screams while I pound against the wall of whatever I'm in.
Yeah. You pound the very little room. You scream. You try to scream, and you realise you're being gagged. Your hands are tied. You are crushed up. It's extremely uncomfortable. And that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
I knew it. I knew that's what you were doing. I knew it. I was thinking, don't you do it, Marc. Don't you fucking do it. Don't do it. And you did
That's
it.
the whole reason I didn't go home because
See?
sued by somebody in our car, and maybe we shouldn't have let Lyra leave.
Then had Lyra stayed, this would not have happened.
See, drinking is always good.
If Kathy had
Punishment.
headed off home, it would have been Kathy. But yeah.
What we need is something to send Kathy to Africa.
So anyway, that
Is it a coffin-shaped box? That's the
no,
next
it's a
curious
crate.
question.
A crate.
Okay.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you in Nairobi.
Yeah, you'll be seeing something again. Yeah, that was Masks of Nyarlathotep. It took some wrangling, but our investigators are finally investigating.
We were always investigating. It just
Ah,
turned
were
out
you though?
it's completely wrong stuff.
Where are you though?
I was trying
We
to
did
get
say-
information out of a police officer whilst roaming around Harlem looking for tips.
Ah, anyway. Sorry, I thought you said looking for tits. What?
See,
Well, if tits have information on them, then I
Yes.
will. We
We'll
will
get
need those
them.
tits.
Anyway, that was Masks of Nyarlathotep. We will be back with this in 2 weeks. However, very special things coming on Sunday, tomorrow. Michelle, would you like to say? Or are you still
It
sleeping?
never fucking changes.
Never.
That is the name of a game of an adventure in the Fallout universe that I will be overseeing. Tim's playing. No one else is. No. Levata's playing. Dice Goblin's playing. And why has my brain gone blank?
Jordan,
Yeah, Jordan. That's right. Jordan. Yeah, he's new. But yeah,
steak fries.
we're going to be playing the Fallout 2 D20 system. I'm going to be running it. It's going to be silly. It's going to be dark. It's going to get weird. It's going to get deep. And it's going to have robots and mutants and ghouls and all of that other stuff you like from Fallout. So check that out tomorrow
is it?
night. 7 p.m. UK, 8 p.m. Central Europe, 1 p.m. Central America. That's the difference. Central America is actually like
So
Mexico.
Central
Sorry.
America, yeah. Central time.
Central US time, I should say.
Yes, yes. And we will follow that by, I believe Jordan's East Coast or West Coast. I can't remember, but we're in there somewhere. We'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
yay, looking forward to it.
Ian, how was your night? How was your first time streaming?
it's a lot.
I know. And these people did not take care of the clues that I gave them.
I'll tell you to navigate the documents and read them in real time while we're talking about them is a lot.
You don't, but you didn't need. Sorry, I should have stressed that. You don't need to. A lot of the clues that are given out aren't clues for right now. They're things to set up things for the future. So you don't need to stress about reading all the things. I thought these wonderful people would have had a little bit more. Murders happened. We've got the reporter. We've got Millie Adams. We've got this, that, and the next thing. I think Lyra did have a good idea, but I don't think we'll get to that anymore. Yeah. But you enjoyed yourself. You're going to come back, or you're going to run away and never speak to us again.
We'll see.
See, that's a cliffhanger. Keep us well going down.
No, I'll be back. I spent too much time on making this character.
That's true. Yeah.
Appear.
And
Just
once you
when
get
had the
past
fuck
the,
out of you. That's glad.
the only thing about this streaming that you have to do different than regular game is just try to keep your face in the frame. So
There's that, but there's also
Yeah.
talking over each other that becomes a very,
that's just discipline, and that's why
Yeah,
I try
you
to
kinda get
practice
used to that.
reading. So
There
And
is
I
a lot
tried-
to learn with this. And with Call of Cthulhu, I'm learning that, like, now we've got like 9 documents in the library. It's almost impossible to even read one of them whilst playing on the thing. I think we've got to start reading these out of stream, because I think that's the only option for me anyway.
I think so. I mean, I should be better at giving you summaries of them. But with the talking over each other, Ian, I try to
And-
notice when
and
someone
typing.
says something. You shut it. And type, oh God, typing all the time. But no, I try to, if I hear that someone's been talked over, I try and bring it back to them. So hopefully I'm able to do that for all of you when it happens.
well, that wasn't a complaint. I just talked over you, but that wasn't a
That's all
complaint.
No, I know that. No, I'm just saying it's something we all get used to. It's so easy as well because it's there's probably a tiny little delay in it just to get into it. Tim, how was your evening?
enjoyable as always, Mark. And also, we need to mention that Lonnie is going to be bringing up her Vampire 5e game pretty quick too.
Looking forward to that.
I'm involved with running that one. I'll be running OBS on that one, so that's going to be a fun one too while playing.
Very cool.
But yeah, just need to mention it. That should be, I believe, we're planning on the 15th, and it would be 6:37 p.m. U.S. time, Central
Nice.
Time. So,
Very cool. Chris, I'm
Yeah.
very sorry that happened to you, but you were the only one to leave the. I swear this is not my usual just kidnap
It
Chris's
is.
characters.
It
It is
always
really not.
is. I don't want your excuses.
It
I am
usually
done.
is. This
I
time
am
it's
done.
not.
Enough. You will see how
It's
the
sacrificing.
turntables turn.
You have no idea how often this has happened to Chris's characters with me. This time
You
it
will-
wasn't on purpose.
You will see the turntables turn when I run my own game.
A full
One day.
360. You're going to. He's planning it. He's going to get it on soon. I will probably do the prod for him, unless we can get him to Linux. You know OBS a bit anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we're back with this in 2 weeks. Tomorrow we have Fallout. On Tuesday we are back with Marvel. Yeah, so come join us again if you're watching. Thank you. Thank you very much for all the bits and subs and stuff. It is so fucking awesome of you all. Yeah, if you are like watching here, you can follow, subscribe if you want, especially if we got a Prime sub because it doesn't cost you fuck all. Subscribe to us on YouTube because that helps as well. Give us a like, leave a comment, blah blah blah. If you're playing this game, thank you, all of you. Give a like to the video when I put it up or I will cry. But yeah, so we will see you soon. Bye.